Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Ram Sankirtan Ki Jai. Okay, so we start. Is it on? It's on. Okay. Om Jnana Timirandasya Giranjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurvavista Subhurakam Guruganaya Shisa Sambhushitam Chuntyachinta Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Kantargam Govindavidam Uchalam Varatanam Bhaktan Vitam Sundaram Vande Vishwa Gurun Divya Bhagavat Premno Hi Bija Pradam. Okay, Jai Gurudev. Okay, Shri Prabhupada Jivanamritam Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay. So I believe we're on number 15, chapter 9, Words of Nectar from the Supreme Lord, Bhagavad Vachanamritam, of Life Nectar of the Surrendered Souls, Shri Prabhupada Jivanamritam. So number 15, chapter 9. And chapter 9, yeah, Words of Nectar from the Supreme Lord. So again, Bhagavad Gita. And Guru Maharaj's summary introduction, encompassing the aggregate individuality and collectivity, the absolute autocracy over both the material and spiritual planes is held by Sri Krishna alone, the supreme male dominating principle as corroborated in the Upanishads, and he is the objective sought after by the yogis. So, pretty straightforward. Guru Maharaj is saying that Krishna is above the total of all individuals and total above the full collectivity, sometimes manifest in the totality of the universe or the totality of the Brahman effulgence. But either way, Krishna says he is the autocrat who's above both the material and spiritual planes. And it is he alone who is the supreme male dominating principle, and this is corroborated in the Upanishads, and as well as the objective sought after by all yogis. The whole platform of yoga is meant to bring one to the lotus feet of Krishna. Then, the Bhagavad Gita verse, which is very expanded purport by Srila Guru Maharaj. I am situated as the Supreme Lord within the hearts of all souls. As a result of a soul's worldly deeds, his remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness arises from me alone. Thus I am not only Brahman, the absolute spirit that pervades the universe, but above that I am the super soul present in the hearts of the living beings who dispenses the results of their attempts. And even above my worshipable aspects of Brahman and Paramatma, I am the Guru of all souls, the eternal dispenser of their good fortune. I am Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be known by all the Vedas. I am the creator and perfect knower of all the axiomatic conclusions of the Vedas, Vedanta. So very expanded purport by Srila Guru Maharaj, but clearly bringing us through the different levels of perception. Not only is he Brahman, but he's also that all-pervading spirit that's in the heart of all living beings. And beyond even those two, he's Bhagavan, that supreme personality who is dispenser of all good fortune for the living beings, and also all good bad fortune, of course. So Krishna is behind everything, and he is to be known. He's the one to be known by all the Vedas, and he has made and fully knows the object of Vedanta Sutra. So let's hear what he says in Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivisto matha smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sayarvair ahang eva vedyo vedanta kridvedavid eva chaham. This is an important verse that we can use in preaching, particularly to Indians, that, Vedascha Sarvar Ahang Eva Vedyo, I am the one to be known. Again, Krishna is using these personal pronouns that, show without question that he's talking about himself as a person. There's no indication anywhere that he's alluding to some Brahman that's beyond him when he says, I. This is what the impersonalists say. But there's no indication of that whatsoever. Vedanta kridvedavim eva chaham, cha-aham. Chaham means it is I who knows the Vedas and who am the maker of Vedanta. Vedanta Krid. He's created Vedanta. So, interpretations that don't lead to him, that is Vaishnava interpretations, are, spurious at best. They're just, not directly coming to the point that's intended. And, of course, this is the necessary development of, different kinds of theologies and philosophies to accommodate the different conditioning of different persons. You have the worship of, of ostensibly Krishna, but actually it's the demigods for gaining material return. And you have the worship of Krishna as Brahman for, becoming one with God, attaining the position, supposedly, of equality with the Supreme Personality of Godhead by merging into the Brahman. But the defect in that is that we're, eternally individual souls, and even when we melt into the Brahman, we don't lose our identity. It's just like sleep. We're just kind of there, being in sleep. Like sometimes, I guess just before waking up or just before going to sleep, we're like conscious of the fact that we're there, but, the dream is almost being produced. So in a similar way, we kind of comprehend, though in the Brahmajyoti, they're sleeping, but at the same time, they're affected by the desires that are there within the soul. And eventually that sleep is disturbed by those desires, and they fall back down. So Krishna is saying, I am the source. It is me. I am that Bhagavan. No question about it. And this, again, is connected with the last few verses in which he's just stressing the verses from Bhagavad Gita which point out that Krishna is the source of everything and that everything in the Vedas points towards him. And not only that, but he is beyond the deluding energy of Maya. He's the one who controls Maya. So, therefore we can conclude that if we perceive that we're entrapped in the illusory energy, and just by reasonable perception, we understand that there's no way we can overpower the illusory energy, then we have to take shelter of Krishna. This is like the object of the presentation. So again, Bhagavad Gita verse number 16, Guru Maharaj's lengthy summary and introduction. Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Eva Gantavyam Tad Chagyanam Anavriti karakam yoginam adi chaitanya swarupam karmaniman cha karma pala vidhayakam. The desired goal is the supreme, divine lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, Tad Vishnu Paramampadam, who is the ordainer of the ultimate emancipation for liberationists, Jnani, Tat Cha Jnaninam Anavrita. And then for the, he's the supreme lord of the meditationists, the Paramatma, the yogis, and the rewarder of the elevationists, the karmis. Karmanam cha karma pala vidhayakam. So the fruits of karma, he's the one who's giving them. Then the verse from Bhagavad Gita. Tatapadam tat parima gitavyam yasmin gata na nivartanti bhuyaha tang eva chadyam purusham prapadye yatha pravrita prashuta purani. I don't remember where that's from, but thus one should search out that supreme goal of no return, the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. I surrender unto him, the original person from whom the perpetual material world has extended. So sometimes Krishna assumes the position of Vishnu and speaks in terms of people returning to him. And the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the Nimbarka Vaishnavas, the Balabha or Vishnu Swami Vaishnavas all see that as directing one to Krishna. The Ramanuja Vaishnavas feel that that's the ultimate statement. So there's a little bit of difference. They worship Vishnu and the form of Narayan, and the other Vaishnava Sampradayas, four of them, worship Krishna. Okay, one more. 17. Guru Maharaj's summary. Those liberated from ignorance and endowed with full-fledged knowledge render service in all devotional mellows headed by consorthood, Madhura Rasa, unto Sri Krishna, the supreme hero of the divine pastimes. Lila Purushottama. He translates that as hero, supreme hero. Purushottama, Uttama Purusha, the highest, the supreme Purusha, controller or hero, as Guru Maharaj says. Everybody's looking for a hero. The ultimate hero is Krishna. Okay, so the Bhagavad Gita, oh no, we do the Sanskrit of Guru Maharaj's shloka. Avidya nirmukta sampurna gya eva lila purushottama Sri Krishnam eva nikila bhavair bhajante. Bhajante, so one should render service in all devotional mellows, nikila bhavair, to Sri Krishna, that Purushottamam, that supreme hero. Avidya nirmukta sampurnam gya eva lila purushottama. So leave ignorance, take to the knowledge that points to the divine lila of the supreme person. And Guru Maharaj, points out that at the fountainhead of all those leelas is Madhurya Leela. So the Bhagavad Gita verse says, O Bharata, one who is liberated from illusion and thus knows me alone as the Supreme Personality, such a full-fledged savant is pronounced, serves me in all respects, mellows. Full-fledged savant is like service, but it kind of implies some kind of mystical understanding, an unknown understanding. Okay, the Bhagavad Gita verse. Yo mam evam asamudho jnanati purushottama na sarva vid bhajanti mam sarva bhavena bharata. O Bharata, one who is liberated from illusion and thus knows me as the Supreme Personality. Jnanati Purushottama, knows me as the Supreme Personality. Yo mam evam asamudho. So he's asamudha, he's free from illusion and knows him. So sarva vid bhajanti mam. He knows, has full knowledge, and therefore serves him. Sarva bhavena bharata. This is a full-fledged servant serving him in all respects. Okay. So, next one, another Bhagavad Gita verse. Just so many Gita, like 20 Gita verses given by Srila Guru Maharaj in this Bhagavad Vachanamritam, and in the presenting the proper context that Krishna is clearly beyond all the different conceptions of the Supreme Person that are falling short of understanding him fully, and which many people perceive as the ultimate final goal. Here Guru Maharaj was lining up all the Bhagavad Gita slokas that completely contradict these bogus assumptions. Brahman is supreme, Paramatma is supreme, and Krishna comes from them. So they think. But Guru Maharaj is just smashing that in his brilliant Shri Prabhupada Jivanamritam Ki Jai. Okay. Now we get to read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay. Okay. Okay, right, so we're reading about Rupa Goswami's temple of Govindaji. Kaviraj Goswami is telling us how these Rupa and Sanatan were sent to Vrindavan, and they developed Vrindavan. First, Sanatan made the Madan Mohan temple, and now we're talking about Rupa, who made this gigantic Govindaji temple with the funding of the Maharaj of Jaipur. And there's thousands of servitors rendering service there. And the chief servitor was Haridas Pandit, who had all proper devotional qualities and such bad feelings of enviousness and possessiveness and the qualities that are there as a result of the mundane false ego. He was free from that because he was so focused in his service that those things were left behind. This is the real understanding of our shastras and of our gurus. Of course, there's so many aspects and varieties of understanding, but you know, to render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the, you know, the proper function of the soul. And therefore, you know, all the good qualities that are described in the scriptures will automatically develop from them. Okay, so we're on text 57, looks like. So, the 50 qualities of Lord Krishna were all present in his body. Okay. Krishnera ye sadharana sadguna panchasha se sabagunera taura sarire nivasa. So sarire, in his body, nivas, they were present. Like sometimes places of residence are called nivas. Okay. And these panchasa, the 50 sabbagunera, all these 50 qualities were there in him, the qualities of Lord Krishna. Satguna, these good qualities. Bhaktirasamrita Sindhu, the transcendental qualities of Sri Krishna are mentioned. Among these, 50 are primary. Ayam, Neta, Suram, Yagaha, etc. And in minute quantity, they were all present in the body of Sri Haridas Pandit. Since every living entity is a part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all 50 of these good qualities of Sri Krishna are originally minutely present in every living being. Due to his contact with material nature, these qualities are not visible in the conditioned soul, but when one becomes a purified devotee, they all automatically manifest themselves. This is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 18th chapter, as mentioned in the text below. So we're leading into a Bhagavad Gita text that, you know, describes the presence of these 50 qualities that are, you know, part of Krishna's identity in minute quantity in the individual living entities. And these qualities become manifest when one begins to engage in pure service. Service that's completely unmotivated. And through the process of bhakti, it's so nice that if we chant Hare Krishna sincerely and engage in our service, that service will be automatically, perhaps gradually, perhaps quickly, you know, transformed into you know, pure and purer activities, finally culminating in pure devotion in which all these qualities will manifest. So we'll read this Srimad Bhagavatam verse. In one who has unflinching devotional faith in Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifested. However, one who has no devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no good qualifications because he is engaged by mental concoction in the material existence, which is the external features of the Lord. So here Bhagavatam tells us that, you know, whatever good qualities or apparently good qualities that we see in the material world, while being like reflections of the actual good qualities that are there in spiritual consciousness, they really have no substance, and they're produced by you know, mental concoction. So, you know, the mental concoction or, you know, consciousness of conditioning produces the three modes of material nature, which in turn produce a particular manifestation of different degrees of the qualities of Krishna reflected through the external energy, the you know, colored glasses of the external energy. So pure light comes in, and shaded light comes out. So yeah, because it's all shaded, regardless of the appearance of goodness, it's not really. There's still calculation there. That we have to see. But at the same time appreciate how all these apparently good qualities that everyone is attracted to are actually reflections of the real qualities that are there in the pure souls. And of course, we see this in the great Vaishnavas, that they manifest all good qualities. They have no reflected qualities. They're just right there and fully real, and fully loving, fully giving, with so many amazing qualities that we can't even see or perceive. But they reveal themselves to us, based on our degree of reciprocal relation. We take one step, they take 10 steps. One step towards them, they take 10 steps towards us, as representatives of the Supreme Lord. Okay, text 59. Ananta Acharya was a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit. His body was always absorbed in love of Godhead. He was magnanimous and advanced in all respects. Pandita Gosanira Shishya Ananta Acharya Krishnara Premamaya Tanu Udara Sarva Arya. Arya, advanced, means he is manifesting the proper qualities of the devotee. Udara, magnanimous, sarva, in all respects. He was magnanimous, and this was shown, tanu, in his body. The form of magnanimity was there in his body, and he was sarva arya, advanced in all respects. Why? Because Krishna, prema, maya. He was overwhelmed by love of Godhead. And who is this? Pandita Gosanira Shishya, the disciple of Pandita Gadadhar Pandit, who was Ananta Acharya. He had all these great qualities. Okay, 660. Ananta Acharya was a reservoir of all good qualities. No one can estimate how great he was. Pandit Haridas was his beloved disciple. So this Haridas that we're reading about, Pandit Haridas, who was the proprietor of the Rupa Goswami's Radha Govinda temple, overseeing thousands of servitors. What amazing service, and what kind of capacity is possible for that. It requires not only capacity for management, which as service will naturally come automatically to the sincere servitor. Krishna provides what is necessary for service, to the degree to which we are surrendered, generally. He doesn't have to, but he generally does. And that's described in Bhagavad Gita. As they surrender to me, I reward accordingly. Okay, Tanhara Ananta Guna Ke Karu Prakasha Tanra Priya Shishya Inha Pandita Haridasa. Ananta Acharya was a reservoir of all good qualities. Ananta Guna, Tanhara, he was. Ke Karu Prakash, he displayed, he was able to show. Tanra Priya Shishya Ina, he was a dear disciple. And this person was Pandit Haridas, and who was the beloved disciple of Ananta Acharya. So Prabhupada tells us, Sri Ananta Acharya is one of the eternal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Previously, during the advent of Lord Sri Krishna, Ananta Acharya was Sudevi, one of the 8 gopis. This is stated in Gora Ganudisha Deepika, verse 165, as follows. Ananta Acharya Goswami Ya Sudevi Pura Braje. Ananta Acharya Goswami was formerly Sudevi Gopi in Braja, Vrindavan. In Jagannath Puri, or Purushottama Ketra, there is a monastery known as Ganga Mata Mat that was established by Ananta Acharya. In the disciplic succession of Ganga Mata Mat, he is known as Sri Raghu Gopal and as Sri Rasa Manjari. His disciple Lakshmi Priya was the maternal aunt of Ganga Mata, a princess who was the daughter of the king of Putia. Ganga Mata brought a deity of the name Sri Rasika Raya from Krishna Mishra of Jaipur and installed him in the house of Sarvabhauma in Jagannath Puri. The disciple in the 5th generation after Sri Ananta Acharya was Sri Vanamali. In the in the 6th generation, Sri Bhagwan Das, who was a Bengali. In the 7th generation, Madhusudan Das, who was an Oriya, someone from Orissa. In the 8th generation, Nilambara Das. In the 9th, Sri Narottam Das. In the 10th, Pitambara Das. In the 11th, Sri Madhava Das. The disciple in the 12th generation is presently in charge of the Ganga Mata monastery. And the deity Sri Rasika Raya doesn't seem to say that there's a Srimati Radharani with him, but perhaps there is. Okay, text 61. Pandit Haridas had great faith in Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Therefore, he took great satisfaction in knowing about their pastimes and qualities. Chaitanya Nityanande Tara Parama Visvasa. Chaitanya Charita Tara Parama Ulasa. Ulasa, great satisfaction. Parama, it says great, but it means really the greatest, the highest. From the pastimes, Chaitanya Charita, the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, and his Tara Parama Visvasa faith. His faith was Parama, like supreme, very great. Okay. He took great satisfaction hearing the qualities of Chaitanya Nityananda. And we can, just by hearing, we can get a feeling of what, something of what that is. Just a beginning feeling, a sense of how wonderful it all is. There's something like stirs in our heart, no doubt, based on our, attempts at devotional service, in the service of our Guru, and then by his grace, we begin to get some stirring of experience. Okay, next one, text 62. He always accepted the good qualities of Vaishnavas and never found fault in them. He engaged his heart and soul only to satisfy the Vaishnava. Then, Vaishnavera gunagrahi nadekaya dosha kaya manuvakya korde Vaishnava santosha. So for Vaishnava santosha, the pacification of the Vaishnavas, he kara mana vakya, he gave his heart and soul. And na dekaya, he never saw dosha, any fault. Vaishnavera gunagrahi, gunagrahi means the great qualities, the nature of the Vaishnavas. He accepted and honored those great qualities and never found fault. So we have so many indications of that this is the quality of the Vaishnava. And well, we can learn along the way from these Vaishnavas and engage in sadhana and practice, not finding fault, and practice seeing the ideal wonderful nature, the ideal objective It's there in all devotees, all people attempting to be devotees, and even people who walk through the door. They have some ideal in mind, and we honor that and respect that. And there's no necessity to find fault, because that fault is all part of the illusory energy. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes it causes problems in the proper function of our society. So sometimes those are necessary, but those are things that are done by by managers, sometimes in consultation with sannyasis and others. But generally we try not to find fault. It's a better angle, and if we try to do that, Krishna will take care. Having faith that Krishna will rectify the circumstance, praying, how we can continue to act nicely in His service, and Krishna will guide us. That's the safe way and the proper way to free ourselves from the tendency to find fault. And of course, what that means is finally that we want to somehow position ourselves in a higher position than those to whom we're finding fault. So anyway, this Haridas Pandit had no trace of this. The qualities of a Vaishnava is that he adosha darshi, adosha, he never sees others' faults. Darshi, sees. Adosha, no faults. He sees no faults. Of course, every human being has both good qualities and faults. Therefore, it is said, Sajjana gunam ichanti dosham ichanti paramaha. Everyone has a combination of faults and glories, but a Vaishnava, a sober man, accepts only a man's glories and not his faults. For flies seek sores, whereas honeybees seek honey. Haridas Pandit never found fault with a Vaishnava, but considered only his good qualities. So flies seek sores, honeybees seek honey. So Haridas Pandit was like a honeybee. And, seeing, like Srila Govinda Maharaj used to say that, this is, a practical problem that he had, because he always saw the good things in people. And sometimes they would take advantage of him. And that was, sometimes problematic. But, he never said that he had to change that way, but he just mentioned how it sometimes caused problems. So, that's the reflection of the qualities of the Vaishnava. It's a natural, transcendental quality. And, externally, that's the saying, I don't remember what it is, but like if you're good, you always lose. And if you're sneaky, then you win. And that may be so materially, but we really don't care about that. We care about service and Krishna and thinking in terms of the inner ideal of the people around us, and not the apparent faults that are really unlimited. There's no end. Like if we probe into the material energy, it is a banyan tree. It's unlimited. Similarly, the dosha, the faults there in the external energy are unlimited. We'll go on forever. Okay, next one. What time is it? 5:00. 63. He always heard the reading of Sri Chaitanya Mangala, and all the other Vaishnava used to hear it by his grace. Nirantara Shuniteho Chaitanya Mangala Tahara Pasadi Sunera Vaishnava Sakala. Vaishnava Sakala, all the other Vaishnavas, Shuna hear. And how? Tahara Prasade. Tahara by his Prasade, mercy. And what did they hear? Nirantara, they always, Shune, heard from him, Tenho, Chaitanya Mangala. the book Chaitanya Mangala, of course, which is now Chaitanya Bhagavat. So he was always reading, and the other Vaishnavas were hearing. Did I read the Bengali? Yeah, I think so. Okay. So next, 64. Like the full moon he illuminated the entire assembly of Vaishnavas by speaking Chaitanya Mangala, and by the nectar of his qualities, he increased their transcendental bliss. Kathaya Sabha Ujjala Kori Yena Purna Chandra Nija Guna Mrte Bardaya Vaishnava Ananda. Vaishnava Ananda, the pleasure of the Vaishnavas. He Bardaya, he increased those, by the Guna Amrita, he increased, Bardaya, the nectar of the qualities of the Vaishnavas, and like the full moon, Purna Chandra, he Ujjala, he gave, transcendental light, the experience of reciprocal love, Ujjala, to all the Vaishnavas. Sabha, the assembly of Vaishnavas, Sabha Ujjala, he illuminated everyone, and Kathaya, by his words, from his words. So the Bengali the endings of Bengali are similar to Sanskrit. So like Aya, from, or by, by his words, by his mercy. Okay, one more. Text 65. By his causeless mercy, he ordered me to write about the last pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I didn't know that. Haridas Pandit ordered Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami to write about the later pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Teho ati kripa kordi, Teno ati kripa kordi, agya koila more. Gorangera Shesha Lila Varni Bara Tore. Okay, Varni Bara describing Tare, the matter of the Shesha Lila, the last pastimes of Gorangera of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Agya Koila Morde, he made me by his mercy, Ati Kripa Kordi, showing his mercy, he gave the Agya, the order, to show the Shesha Lila of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One more. Text 66. Govinda Gosai, the priest engaged in the service of Lord Govinda in Vrindavan, was a disciple of Kashishvara Gosai. There was no servant more dear to the Govinda deity. Aha. So Prabhupada says Kashishvara Gosai was also known as Kashishvara Pandit, and he was a disciple of Ishwara Puri and the son of Vasudev Bhattacharya, who belonged to the dynasty, or the dynasty, of Kanjilala, Kanu. His surname was Chaudhuri. His nephew, his sister's son, who was named Rudra Pandit, was the original priest of Balabhapura, which is situated about 1 mile from the Sri Rampura railway station in the village of Chatara. Installed there are the deities of Radha Govinda and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kashishvara Gosai was a very strong man, and therefore when Lord Chaitanya visited the temple of Jagannath, he used to protect the Lord from the crowds. Another of his duties was to distribute prasad to the devotees after kirtan. He was also one of the contemporaries of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was with the Lord in Jagannath Puri. Okay. So, yeah, so the son of Vasudeva Bhattacharya, okay, Rudra Pandit was his nephew. Okay, we're talking about Kashishwar Gosai. Another of his duties was to distribute prasad to the devotees after kirtan. Okay, he was one of the contemporaries of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who was with the Lord in Jagannath Puri. So this is important. Kashishwar Gosai was actually the original priest at the Govindaji temple, the temple of Rupa Goswami. He was also one of the contemporaries. Okay, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also visited this temple at Vallabhapura. At that time, the person in charge was a Shaivite, Sri Shivachandra Chowdhury, who was a descendant of Kashishwar Gosai's brother. In Vallabhapur, there was a permanent arrangement to cook 9 kilos of rice, vegetables, and other foodstuffs. And near the village, there was sufficient land which belongs to the deity on which this rice was grown. Unfortunately, the descendants of Kishwar Gosai's brother have sold a major portion of this land, and therefore the deity worship has now been hampered. It is said in the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika that the servant of Krishna in Vrindavan named Bringara descended as Kashishwar Gosai during the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In our householder life, we also sometimes visited this temple of Vallabhapura and took prasad there at noon. The deities of this temple, Sri Sri Radha Govinda and the Gauranga Vigraha, are extremely beautiful. Near Vallabhapur is another beautiful temple of Jagannath. We sometimes used to take prasad in this Jagannath temple also. These two temples are situated within a 1-mile radius of the Sri Ramapura railway station near Calcutta. I don't know if that's on the line when we come in from Navadip. I don't remember it. Okay, well, one more. Text 67. Sri Yadavacharya Gosai, a constant associate of Sri Larupa Goswami, was also very enthusiastic in hearing and chanting about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Now, one of the devotees who came with Ramai to Chicago, when Ramai was initiated as Ramai Das Brahmachari, he was initiated as Yadavacharya Goswami Das, who is this associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we're reading about just now. Okay. I'll quick read another couple of, because it's very fast. Okay. Yadavacharya Gosai Sri Rupera Sangi Chaitanya Charite Taiho Ati Bararangi. Bararangi. He was very enthusiastic about Chaitanya Charita hearing. Tenho, he very much was very enthusiastic about the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was Sri Rupera Sangi. He was in the association of Rupa Goswami, this Yadavacharya. Okay. And another devotee was named Yadavacharya. Okay. Bhugarbha Gosai, a disciple of Pandita Gosai, was always engaged in topics regarding Lord Chaitanya, knowing nothing else. Pandita Gosai, a Shishya, Bhugarbha Gosai, Gora Katha, Vina Ara Mukha Anyanai. So nothing came out of his mukha except Gora Katha. And this guy's name was Pandita Gosai, who was a disciple of Bhugarbha Gosai. No, the other way around. Bhugarbha Gosai was a disciple of Pandit Gosai, Pandit Haridas. Okay. So a disciple of this Haridas, who was the head manager of the temple of Radha Govinda. Then Among his disciples were Chaitanya Das, who was the priest of the Govinda deity, as well as Mukundananda Chakravarti and the great devotee of Krishna Das. Tar Shishya Govinda Pujaka Chaitanya Das, Mukundananda Chakravarti Preme Krishna Das. So this guy was a great lover of Krishna Das Kaviraj. And his name was Muktananda Chakravarti, who along with Chaitanya Das, who was the priest of the Govinda deity and the disciple of Pandita Gosai, the Haridas, who was the head of the temple. This just goes on and mentions disciples of Haridas and what their position was in the temple and how their hearts were all connected with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Kaviraj Goswami finally says, it was these devotees who ordered me to write about the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And although, he says, although I am shameless, I have attempted to write the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Kaviraj Goswami, the great Vaishnava, very much felt ashamed that he had to write Chaitanya Charitamrita because he felt himself unqualified, but yet there was no one else to do the service, and he was asked by these great devotees. So feeling himself totally unqualified, he still did it because it was the request of the Vaishnavas. This is, the beauty and the depth and degree of the surrender of Kaviraj Goswami, which is being brought out by the description of these great devotees who are connected with the temple of Govindaji in Vrindavan, which was constructed under the guidance of Srila Rupa Goswami. And it was a massive, beautiful temple. I've seen only one depiction of how the temple was. I think it was just a small, I forget what they're called, one of those images of how the temple was in a kind of a glass container. I think there was one in that temple, showing massive structure in the dome going up above the temple, and all that whole thing was knocked down by the cavalry of the envious Muslim Aurangzeb. Maybe it was after the departure of Rupa Goswami. Because Rupa Goswami was there when Ashok was there.
It's much later. Aurangzeb was a century or more than a century after.
Yeah. Okay. Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakhak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Acharya Brinda ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Vaishnava Brinda ki jai. Sri Visva Vaishnava Brinda ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Jai Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopala Govinda Ram Srimad Sudana. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Radha Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Ekhayo Sai Kori Karana Vandana Jaha Hoye Vijnanath Abhishta Purana Ekhayo Gosai Janamuni Kadadata Panchabara Padavinu Mola Panchabrata Andhyakarana Siddhi Bhakta Sanivata Janame Janame Mola Abhirata Ekayo Sai Japi Bhaje Kolavata Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakacha Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pate Majai Amana Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Dharma Goliacha Hari Nam Sankirtan Gohi Narotam Rasa Hari Nam Sankirtan Gohi Narotam Rasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Anitaya Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Jai Gaur Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Jai Sripad Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Ju Ki Jai Jai Sripad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Charja Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Sripad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Sripad Srila Bhakti Rakha Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Sripad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Guru Varga Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Svavaranya Srila Isi Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswara Marta Ki Jai London Shri Chaitanya Saraswara Marta Ki Jai Samaveta Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Grantha Raja Srimad Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol. Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev.